News this 14th day of May 2021. My name is Wadulo Arnold, and without further ado, these are our top stories. Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye has said that with the peace and reconciliation in Burundi, the country is enjoying economic transformation and improving people's lives. Now, the visiting president says that this time for development is now to improve the lives of our people, adding that with the resources available, Burundi is able to do business with Uganda. Accompanied by the First Lady Angeline, President Ndayishimiye said Burundi considers President Museveni as a father of their nation due to his contribution in the process to bring peace to Burundi. President Ndayishimiye said that he is confident that Museveni will continue to advise so that the Burundians can be at the same level with other partner states. The president said infrastructure connectivity between the two countries is important, adding that the road from Chikagate, Morongo, Isingilo in TZ, Keisho to Kayanga, an old Maram road, if graded and Marammed properly, can be used to promote trade. He said that the road from Mutukula, Masaka, Kampala, and the road from Mutukula, Chaka, Kayanga to Ngara is also already and can be improved to enable people travel directly between the two countries. President Museveni said Uganda can support Burundi to exploit the oil prospects since Uganda and Burundi have the same characteristics. He pledged to look for investors to support Burundi's iron ore industry. According to the Minister of All Foreign Affairs, Sam Kutesa, trade between Burundi and Uganda increased from $40 million per annum to $59 million of exports from Uganda to Burundi, mainly for iron and steel products, maize, tobacco, vegetable oils, and others, while imports from Burundi to Uganda are $33.8 million, largely from gold, raw hides, and skins and scrap iron. And that's diplomacy, as we call it. Furthermore, Guinea President Alpha Conde has condemned Ugandan agriculture innovators and pledged closer cooperation with Uganda in the agricultural sector. Conde was touring one of the national agriculture innovation hubs in Uganda, where he also admired Uganda's dairy sector. The Guinea President was in company of the Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, Vincent Sempija Bajide. Let's take a look.
Chairman of the Council.
La loi qui est chargée aussi de la pêche. Le secrétaire d'État chargé des questions animales et puis des questions de pêche aussi.
The Chairman of the Council of Naro.
Vous avez aussi le Dr Arnold qui est aussi le directeur général.
Then we have invited guests who are here.
Les cadres du ministère et les invités.
Your Excellency, we are aware our scientists are ready to come to Guinea Conakry, and also we are ready to receive scientists and farmers and everybody from Guinea Conakry here.
Ils sont prêts à échanger donc des délégations des équipes de scientifiques de part et d'autre.
So, Your Excellency, we want to implement your ideas, your good vision, and the vision of the President of Uganda. We want to implement them, and our team in the ministry is more than ready to start.
Il souhaiterait vous
In another development, over 600 families are now homeless in Karamoja sub-region following heavy rains and flash floods in the area. The most affected were communities in Kongole sub-county in the Park district, whose gardens were also swept away. And these are the details.
The rains, which started in the wee hours yesterday in Karamoja, have left over an estimated number of about 1,000 people homeless after many houses were swept by floods in Kagole sub-county in Napak district. Floods destroyed gardens and properties. People were seen trying to rescue their belongings, such as beddings, poultry, and animals, among others. With victims here, they narrated their story.
When we had floods, so these floods just came along the riverside. They hopped all up the whole village, and we were the first people who these floods attacked. So by the time when we were trying to remove some things from our houses, there was no way. These floods came on when at a higher force, so we could not even pick anything.
Our house it is actually collapsing because it is open now from both sides. It is open from all the corners, and the water has passed all through the house. So the situation in Napak district is really alarming.
The most affected villages are Nasioniot village in Kagole sub-county. Now, affected people want government to run to their rescue.
Upon the partners, the government to intervene, because this is the first of its kind we have seen this water.
Look upon, at least if the government can take a great need at this juncture to help the community of Nasion.
Between Kangole and the State Lodge, there is a swamp which is in between that area, which when the UNRWA was constructing the road, it had to put the small bridges which water cannot pass through. So you find that when water is coming much more from behind the mountain of the State Lodge of Morolinga, and then combines with what comes from the community members around, the water is too much that cannot go through the small.
Flood victims decided to camp on the roadside along Moroto-Soroti Highway with their belongings.
I think maybe the whole community will be in great danger. Now people are just seated on the road, nothing even to eat. All things are damaged. So we don't know really.
Quite unfortunate right there. We really do hope that the ministries responsible can really come to your help in the park. Otherwise, let's take a short break. When we return, we'll be back with more lunchtime news. Stay tuned.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Ekya COVID-19 kijja kugwa.
If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Lunchtime Edition. My name is Wadulo Arnold. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube under the name tag UBC TV Uganda. Now, to proceed with our bulletin, Uganda is set to join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Day of the Family that takes place every 15th day of May in the years. Now, Ministry of Gender and Child's Foundation have organized different family activities at Kamengo in Mpigi District ahead of the International Day of Families commemoration.
The main objective of this day is to advocate for protection, promotion and preservation of family institutions for national development and challenges of COVID-19 on families. According to the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, women are at greater risk from gender-based violence with abusive partners. Biekwaso Caroline is from Child Health and Development Center.
For this specific community, I see that they have had a lot of challenges related to domestic violence. I see a lot of poor relationships between spouses or partners. I see poor bonding and attachment between parents and their children. And I see a lot of struggles. Parents are struggling to see that their children become who they want them to become.
Biekwaso says Mpigi District has had a lot of challenges related to domestic violence, poor bonding and attachment between parents and their children.
And also for them to understand how can they cope with technology, because it is here. But how can we make sure that our children can benefit from technology? And also how can we make sure that our children can eliminate the bad technology and what it can do to them as individuals, but also as a family and a community at large.
Nachibuli Hafswa, a resident of Kamengo in Mpigi District, says when COVID-19 hit, she lost her job, earning her some money to cater for her family.
Naddala ebitengi nentungira abaana ebyokwambala ngoye nensobola okutunda oba okutambuza sobola okubeezaawo kye bayita okugulira amagala eddiba okuyimirizaawo family.
Hilda Nabosa from Child Eye Foundation says their core values are to strengthen families amidst COVID-19 pandemic.
The challenges, some of the opportunities, and also to teach them how to move forward to get used to this pandemic of COVID-19, to deal with it.
Child Eye Foundation is a non-government organization that helps children return to families by rebuilding family support systems. Mutesa Sira Haruna, UBC.
Now, furthermore, the business community in East Africa has been challenged to find dispute resolution mechanisms to address bottlenecks hindering regional trade. The registrar at the East African Court of Justice says that where need arises, court redress must be sought. This was during the East African Business Council CEO Roundtable breakfast meeting presided over by the East African Community Secretary General Peter Mathuki.
We need to embrace the East African Business Council and ensure that we are the voice of the private sector.
If there is a dispute between Uganda and Kenya, it can be resolved.
I would request that now you focus on facilitation rather than regulation.
These are some of the concerns that came up in the discussions as chief executive officers under the East African Business Council met in Kampala. Non-tariff barriers were cited as a serious obstacle to regional trade.
These NTBs keep on recurring, but very slow to be resolved. And we want to urge the Secretariat at ESC to finalize the amendment of the ESC Elimination of Non-Tariff Barrier Act 2017.
Allow us to do business between business and business. The politics are none of our business. Thank you.
These concerns come in the wake of recent denial of Ugandan goods to some markets within the East African region, to the extent that a couple of years ago, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta had to intervene on the controversy surrounding Ugandan sugar.
Uganda imports $700 million worth of product from Kenya. They do. They only export to us 150 million. Let us see how we can strengthen our own farmers, support our own farmers, so that they can be more competitive. That now is talking progress as opposed to saying, shut him down, shut him down. In our small little markets, who goes where?
The recent denial of Uganda's maize, milk and eggs to the Kenyan market opened another Pandora's box.
Kenya blocked entry of Ugandan milk into their country, which meant that our sister company in Kenya, we have 3 bottling plants there, could not take Ugandan milk.
Now, a coordinated approach towards economic recovery and boost in East Africa is being underscored.
These are issues we are going to sit together and see how to resolve, and so that East Africans and businesses can have free market access in the region.
Where regional business matters of concern fall in the legal category, the aggrieved parties are encouraged to always seek legal redress.
But it is these very governments that set up these courts. And it was set up for you. So why should we fear taking your government to court? Because we fear rubbing them the wrong side, because you do business with them.
The CEO Roundtable Breakfast meeting for East African Business Council was held at Sky Hotel in Kampala. It brought together regional integration and business experts across East Africa. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you. Now, on the international scene, Israel has intensified its assaults on Gaza as Palestinian militants continue to fire rockets into Israel on the 5th day of hostilities. Israel's military said that air and ground forces were involved in attacks on Friday, but had not entered Gaza. Videos from Gaza City showed the night sky lit up by explosions from Israeli artillery, gunboats, and airstrikes. Some 119 people have been killed in Gaza and 8 have died in Israel since fighting began on Monday.
President Reuven Rivlin has warned of the danger of civil war as Jews and Arabs clash in cities across the country. So how is the government dealing with this issue so far?
The government's trying to put out the proverbial fires, but they're not even proverbial. These are real fires. You have groups of people rampaging through the area that I'm in now. Toward the evening, it's an ethnic clash. It's a clash between Jews and Arabs. People are being beaten into critical condition, pulled out of their cars and beaten badly. Synagogues in some cities are being burnt. And essentially the border police, it's a paramilitary group. Reservists have been called up. The police are seemingly, or they seem to be overwhelmed from what we saw in a flashpoint town a few days ago. There's a sense of anarchy, there's a sense of chaos, and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Thursday that a priority, this is a priority, that yes, there's the Gaza front on one side, but what this civil unrest, this rioting, this intense violence between the two sides, that is an immediate priority, no less or even more important on some levels, because the country, the entire country, could descend into chaos and anarchy if this continues and spreads.
Okay, that's our correspondent Stephanie Free reporting live from Jaffa. Thank you so much. Please take good care of yourself and be safe.
Welcome back. It's now time for the sports news. Now, the International Olympic Committee and Japanese authorities are moving fully ahead in the preparation for the upcoming Tokyo Olympics, despite growing public unease after Japan extended the state of emergency to battle COVID-19. IOC spokesperson Mark Adams told a virtual news conference that the Olympics in Tokyo, due to start in less than 80 days' time, will go ahead as planned, even though the public opinion and polling show opposition against the international event at such a critical time. More than 7,800 athletes, about 70% of the 10,500 athletes, have already been qualified for the Games, said Adams. Japan on May 7th extended the state of emergency over COVID-19 for Tokyo, Osaka, Hyogo and Kyoto until the end of May, following a spike in coronavirus cases. And that brings us to the end of the lunchtime bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Care to join us for more news in our subsequent bulletin. From the team, it's good afternoon.